What's up, y'all? Good to see you. Uh, do I sound okay? Here, I need to turn this off. There we go. How is the sound? And then, is this too dark in this region? I just turned on all these lights. I don't know why it's so dark. This is a different camera than normal. Boop, boop, boop. So... Okay, so we'll give it a little bit of time to let people show up. So, sound is good. Could use a little light, right? Did you spell Yeah, you spelled fragile, right? What's up, Josh? Here, let's back this out a little bit. Okay. I don't know how to get more like I'm using all the lights that I use when I film. Like I have 4 huge daylight bulbs blasting. Like you can see how bright it is in the room with this camera. Like behind me it's like white. But so what I'm using here is this is the webcam that I used before to record my face. And then I was using this phone shit to do the knives, which made the knives bad quality. So I switched it up. But yeah, it like looks really dark. That's weird. What's up, Steve? What's up, Rich? Oh man, everybody's showing up. That's exciting. Da da da. We have some people in the house. In the house. Let's see. What are some knives that I can put on screen? I gotta figure out how to make this lighter. Steve says the lighting isn't bad, but like it could be better. I just don't understand. It's the camera being weird, not the actual lighting situation in the room. Also, okay. Let me know if I like, well, no, sound levels look good, I guess. Still though, it shouldn't be this fucking dark. I don't know, maybe it's because stuff is so close to the... Alright, everybody's telling me it's fine, so I'm just gonna shut up, I guess. For anybody, yeah, exactly, Ben, what is up? Thanks for joining us. So I got the Spectre back, and everything's great. Here, I'll look at I'm trying to remember. I'm literally surrounded by cameras and shit. It's pretty funny. A2. Yeah, Mike had the same issue. So, the Spectre is pretty sweet. I like it a lot. You can see here the lockup is pretty far. Here, let me focus. It's like most of the way there, so it's a lot like a Chris Reeve knife, but it's like really important that you know that there's no stick or like anything like that. They did a really good job on it. It's good. I would say this knife has probably the best acoustics of any frame lock flipper I've ever played with, except maybe like best CNC'd frame lock flipper acoustics that I've ever experienced. Michael Gavick, Gavco Knives, he has some really interesting acoustics on his frame locks, but this is CNC'd. So I gotta say, it sounds amazing. I know you guys keep saying it's fine, but I feel like it's fucking dark. Oh, let me spin this knife and slice open my fucking wrist. Yours is around 20%. Yeah, so they told me in a video. They like sent me a video, Angie and Joe, and they were like showing me, I don't know what it is. They had to like do some stuff to this knife. And I don't know. They said, Joe showed me in a video, he showed me the lockup, and he was like, I had to make it this far to get everything to work the way we want it to work. And I said, fine. I honestly don't care. I actually think early lockup was a big part of the problem that I was having with the knife before. And I'm not, I don't need early lockup on a frame lock, honestly. I do like early lockup on liner locks just because it's easier to get your finger in there usually and everything. My problem with late lockup is that it usually is also, in my experience personally, late lockup often results in some form of lock stick, which is not present here at all. Not even a little bit. It does sound amazing. The Spectre acoustics are sick. Now, mine's like not as droppy as it was when I got it. Like you can see if I just hold the knife and wiggle it a little bit, it doesn't really go anywhere. But I mean, it takes such little effort. It's super smooth. I do have some criticisms of this knife. It's not perfect. But they did a really good job. And like for the price point, like I definitely think it's worth buying. And the stuff that's like not perfect about it, none of it's a deal breaker. It's just little things that can be improved on the design. Nothing big there. And I'll cover all that when I eventually get to the review. So let's go ahead. Can we start opening boxes? Yeah, there's like 10 people here. I'm in. Let's do it, guys. So the first thing that we're going to show, I guess I should say, Echo Does Knives, my friend Josh, excuse me, has sent all of this package here, this package here, packed full of knives, packed full of sweet custom knives. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox all of them. See, I feel like maybe some of the... it's so dark. Why? It's so weird. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to get over it because you guys told me to get over it. So this one is the only box you can see it's a separate box. And there's a reason for that. I recently got drafted for the Shirogorov Sigma collaboration lottery, and I knew that Josh wanted the knife, and I didn't want the knife. I entered on behalf of another friend who had already won it by the time I got my email. So, Josh bought it, and it's got to come through me. Josh says he forgot one, and he's mailing it tomorrow. Jeez, dude, chill out. Maybe don't mail it tomorrow. I got a lot of fucking knives to get through. This is like pissing me off with how dark. Whatever. All right. So this is the Shiro collab thing. And of all the knives, there's an invoice in here, I think. Save that for Josh. Of all the knives that Josh sent, you can obviously tell, this isn't in that main box. The other knives Josh has already owned and sort of played with and stuff. This knife, I'm just going to unbox it, take a quick look, and then package it up exactly as it was. I do want him to get that unboxing experience, so I'm going to take care to keep everything as perfect as possible. But let's go ahead and check it out. So the Sigma is one that I'm not really interested in. I just don't like the shape. It's got an upswept blade, which just isn't my deal. No problem with it or anything. So you can see here, we get this little card that says collaboration between Shirogorov and, I actually didn't look to see who the other maker was. This is one of those Russian sheets of paper that you get with Shirogorov stuff. Try to keep that perfect. Can anybody tell me in the chat who this is? I don't remember. Oh my god, it's so light. I haven't even, wow. Oh, it's like weird light. I don't know if I like that. Okay, so it's wrapped up in the cloth as is usual. Let's take a look. So it is a sub-frame lock made out of carbon fiber, meaning, try to get in focus, meaning, yeah, it doesn't weigh anything. Amazing. Is it Sinkovich? Is that who it is? I didn't think that was his logo. Maybe I don't know. I don't know nothing about nuttin', apparently. So the cool thing is this milling. See, the last time I did one of these streams, people were like, the knife camera is worse than the face camera, but now I can't even get this fucking webcam to focus. There we go. Maybe. This is terrible. I feel so bad. Whatever. The milling on the carbon fiber is absolutely second to none. Absolutely amazing. Another big part of why I don't like this knife is this tiny flipper tab. I mean, it works, but it doesn't feel good. The pivot's really cool. Fuck. I don't know what to fucking do about this focusing issue. Why are you such a shitty camera? I think it just doesn't focus that closely. Has a little bit of stick. Well, you can't get a Shirogorov without lock stick, right? So Josh, your brand new knife has lock stick, just to let you know. What's up, everybody that's joining us? This is the Shirogorov collab Sigma. The action's pretty great. The way it drops shut is stellar. Very smooth, very clean on multi-row bearings. I don't really like this tiny little flipper tab, although it does function. It's just not the best, But the blade's really nice. Oh, it is Sinkovich. No shit. That's a weird logo for him. And then I don't like the shape of the bent. This just, this knife just really wasn't meant for me in terms of design. But I have to say, from a quality perspective, it's absolutely outstanding. The carbon fiber is pristine. The blade is pristine. The action's really, really good. It's definitely, if you get pulled from the lotto and you like this design, it's well worth the $1,300. I would say if you like the design, and you were interested in the knife from a mechanical and quality perspective, it's definitely worth it. It's really nice. So I'm going to get to play with one of these a little bit more and take pictures of it and get all that stuff from my friend Rich, who's in the chat. He has one as well, and I'm going to meet with him for coffee tomorrow. So as far as this one's concerned, I'm going to go ahead and put it away so that Josh has a nice, clean, new knife to play with. And I'll get my shits and giggles taken care of by my friend. And now now that we've got a little bit more viewership, let's go ahead and open the main course. All right, there you go, Josh. It's all put back together, just as it was opened. All right, we'll put this aside. Oh, we got this one. Look how big it is. You see my head? Look how big this is. Oh my gosh. Rich, I'm not going to cut a box with it. I just said that I want to keep it perfect for Josh. But Rich, I'll cut a box open with yours tomorrow. Look at this, guys. Look. Oh, it's so big. It's so big. Oh my god. All right, let's open it. So I have to keep a lot of this packaging off screen because Josh went a little overboard on the shipping, and apparently every single knife in here is in its own separately labeled package with all of our personal info. Wow, this just cut straight through the box. Josh, how do I open this? Where's the seam? All right. I gotta say, the Holt Bladeworks Spectre is sharp as fuck. This is the first time I'm really using this knife, by the way. It's had a perfect mirror finish until right about now. All right, here we go. Nice burp. Yeah, it comes blazing. Oh, it's so big. Okay. Wait. What? Josh, why is there just... Did you just send me a bunch of empty envelopes so I could have them? Are you fucking kidding me? You're so funny. Some packing towels that I gotta send back, apparently. Okay. Now we got the knives. I can hear some Gavco keychains rattling around. Oh my god, how many did you send, dude? Holy shit. He wasn't kidding when he said over 20K in knives. Oh my god. Alright, I don't... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I thought there were going to be like 6. Let me start opening these, I guess. Alright, there's 1. 2. 3. Vextos. This is all coming from Echo Does Knives. I don't know, some idiot, yeah. Oh. Ugh. Josh. You gotta close your pouches, dude. Your tiger's hanging out, getting banged up by your zipper. No bueno. Alright, so that's 4. Was the package insured? It was insured, and guess what? He have obviously paid for a fucking signature, and guess what was on my front porch today with no signature? Five. Six. I love his Timascus little keychains. 7. 8. Guys, what is even happening right now? What even is this? Did you send a knife loose in one of these envelopes? What the fuck is this? What is this? Is this one of those TAD things? Explain this. Okay. Let's get some of these pouches out of the way and see what we got here. So, those are all going up on Knife Swap. Yep. Yep. Sorry, Josh, you fell for it, man. I'm about to thieve you. Steal all your knives. What is this? All right, I don't want to. So a lot of this is a surprise to me. Basically, he told this is the surprise. This thing. What is this? Explain it. G&G Hawk. Is this your Millet Knives knife? What is this? Tell me what it is. I don't know. It's like TAD, right? Isn't TAD? Isn't that the company? I feel like I know. I feel like I recognize this. It's ew. Oh. Okay. Can you thumb? Ah, God, why? I'm gonna fucking kill myself on stream with this thing. Oh, that is so uncomfortable. It's got one of these clips. Sorry, I need to scoot forward, I guess. It's got one of these things that everybody complains about on the Marfione knives. Tad Hawk Dauntless. And you like this thing? It sounds good when it closes, I have to admit. It's got a good closing sound. Flipper are only the stops. Got it. Okay. I'm not going to review this, but I will put it on Instagram. I don't want to review stuff that isn't like up my alley, you know? So then I'm not fair to it. What's this? Oh my God. Holy shit. He sent his Damasteel Satori. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Let me guess. These aren't thumb studs either. Oh. That is a thick fucking blade stock. Holy cow. Look at that compared to my... Where's my Bushido? Is the Bushido wider? So the Bushido I know is 0.19 inches thick because I've measured it. Satori looks just about maybe slimmer by like just a hair. But I don't know. That's a thick blade stock. So people are really into Peter Ricenti's work. This Satori is mega. I got to try out the 4 Satoris that he brought to New York Custom Knife Show. Is this a finger choil? See, I hate this. This pisses me off. If you make a choil that's big enough that it looks like it'll fit a finger, but it doesn't, and it's just a sharpening choil that's gigantic, that makes me that irritates me. This needs to be bigger. That's like my initial criticism number 1 for sure. The Damasteel is wicked though. Very tight etch. Do you guys remember seeing the video of mine on the JD Van Deventer pinstripe that belongs to Pocket Pair in chat? This is similarly as tight. Gorgeous. Thoughts on the Spyderco collab? I mean, whatever. They make the Nirvana. It's the Payson, right? Is how you say it. I'm not a fan of like Wharncliffe's, so kind of like right out of the gate, I just like am not into that knife. But Ben, to be perfectly frank with you, when it comes to like production, man, I just don't give a shit. I would if I was like really well off and I could still afford to sort of maintain my custom collection and dabble in all of the fun, interesting things happening in the production world. You'd see a lot more like Wii knives and ZTs and stuff on the table for sure. But I just don't really have the financial means to do both. And so I don't like to... Sheep's Foot, sure. Wharncliffe, Vextos. I said once in a video that I'm not a blade guy, and I got a bunch of flack. Like, how are you not a blade guy if you're a knife guy? I just don't give a shit, guys. Sorry, but yeah, it's a sheep's foot. Sure, they're the same thing to me. I don't. Anytime there's just a big curved thing, it's whatever. So yeah, the Payson collab, it's cool. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm always stoked when a good knife can get into the hands of more people through something like a production collab or whatever. Like, I always dig that. I think that's cool. You'll note the 0055, right? Like, this was cool to me because I am a fan of GTC's work. Excuse me. I'm a fan of GTC's work. And so, like, I really like this knife. And I've obviously invested in it a little bit with the Timascus clip and everything. But, and frankly, I would really like Dr. Frunke's old one that he sold. The green one is super cool. But, like, this kind of thing, I'm into. I'm into it. But it's just not for me. So, Josh, this thing is friggin' sweet. You said it fits your tiny fingers, right? How did I disengage the last knife? It's got this this thing that looks like an axis lock, but it's actually like a button release. You just pull it down. I actually really like the way this thing sounds when it closes, but it's probably the only thing I like about it. Also, the G10's pretty nice, if I'm being honest. But this Satori, so far, has stolen the show for me, man. The only Ricentis that I've handled are the 4 Satoris that were at New York Custom Knife Show, and I got very little time with them. I think I picked each one up and flipped it twice per knife, and then got out of the way. A lot of people were interested in Ricenti's work, and with only 4 knives, you don't want to stand in front of the table and take a bunch of people's time. So, you know, I filmed what I could film, and I got out of there. So I'm quite excited to have this on the table and be able to actually, you know, do things with it and really get a feel for it so that I can really comment on Ricenti's work, because he's very popular among my friends, and so I'd like to get on that bandwagon if there's room for me. So we'll see. Ergonomics, pretty interesting. Apparently the finger choil fits for Josh, but for me, it doesn't quite cut it. And I don't have huge hands. So that'll be a complaint, but I mean, mechanically, it's really great. The deten's pretty weak, you can see. I mean, it's really easy to fail deployment if you want to. But it's not hard to get deployment either. It's just a super ultra thick blade, which is a little bit aggressive. Let's go ahead and move on to the next knife. Let me just double check something here. All right, cool. So I'm going to hold off on... So I know which Gavcos are Gavcos because they have these gorgeous Timascus little keychains. Josh, I got to admit something. Well, I guess Urko's on the other one I own is way better. The Coke bottle shape. Interesting. I have not gotten to play with any of his black Timascus acid-etched electro-anodized knives. The last knives that were of his that were premium material like Timascus that I touched were the Timascus that he brought to Blade Show, which was electro-anodized, but it wasn't black Timascus, so it didn't have the Zerk. So I haven't really seen some of the shininess that he's got going on here. So this is a green one with no Timascus. What's in here? Is this the oddity? Or the... Yeah, this is the one-off. Whew. Josh, you're not getting these Gavcos back, man. I own this now. Wow. God, he makes a knife. Son of a bitch. This you have to see in person. No photograph will do this justice because it's so three-dimensional. Here, I actually know how to describe this. I know how to describe what this looks like. If you've ever handled carbo quartz, you'll note that carbo quartz versus something like carbon fiber, when you rotate it in the light, has a sheen. So one layer will light up, other layers will sort of go into the shadows, and as you turn it, carbo quartz sort of lights up. This is exactly like that. Amazing. So three-dimensional. Tactical Center says he's not a fan of Gavco. That's too bad, but not every knife is for everyone. You know, I really like Mike's work. I got to meet him last year. I've owned quite a few of his knives, everything from the, basic mid-techs all the way up to full auction pieces from Blade Show. And I really like his stuff, so it's too bad that you don't like it. But the good thing that I love about the sort of knife world is that there's so many options that you could dislike basically 90% of knife makers and still have a knife collection, bigger than you can afford to keep. So I do love that about our hobby. Cool. So I'm going to keep these all in the right pouches. Love his handles, but not his blades. Yeah, his blades, it depends. I really like it when he bothers to do satin finishes. That's always cool. So I know that there's a whole stack of Gavcos here. Let's check out what's in this thing. Oh, I bet I know what this is. This is the Crusader from Crazy Motherfucker. That's a knife, man. Wow. Full black Timascus show side. Crazy thick blade stock. Again, we're looking at as thick as the Mini Bushido. Black Timascus clip. Pivot collars. Wow. We have this crazy blade, which you can see is a Damascus with satin flats. And a pretty wild sort of recurve, almost scimitar-like shape. My biggest criticism with this knife before I even got it in hand was the satin flats. I just don't like the angle he chose. I feel like this area looks sort of like it's machine finished, so it looks kind of unfinished, and it carries through the flipper tab. I think if he ground this down to where this point right here was behind the show scale, and therefore from the profile perspective, the flipper tab was separated from the primary blade. I think that would look better. The fact that you can see this connection through the flats up through the flipper tab here it kind of feels I don't know, it kind of feels like the one thing that isn't finished with a knife that's otherwise super dressy. And then beyond that, he hasn't done any contouring of these edges. These are 100% 90 degree unbroken edges, very sharp to the touch. So I wouldn't love that. But the action is remarkable. This was definitely something I really wanted to check out on Ian's work. I wasn't really sure. He's certainly served by this really thick, heavy blade, but it feels super smooth. There's no resistance here. It's snappier than I expected. Oh, we've also got this beautiful Timascus backspacer. Floating. Come on. You can feel the clip vibrating a little bit because it is floating, but it's not a big deal. The action is superb. I suddenly find myself having a much stronger desire to own a CMF than I did before this moment. Thank God I'm not into most of these because I'd be broke. Yeah, no kidding. The fancy materials, yeah, look, they're not for everybody. And again, that's what I love sort of about, like, not even just the community, but like knife makers in general. Like, a lot of them make both, right? So like you can get one of these in plain titanium and carbon fiber, done, right? Plain blade, done. Obviously most of Recenti's work is actually void of stuff like Damasteel, and those are usually pretty plain. Cool, you'd be all set. Vexto says that he'd be scared to scratch something. I felt the same way, right? Like when I got like my first Thorburn and stuff, like I didn't even want to carry it, right? Because I was like, man, if I scratch this, like the value's gonna plummet. Like what do I do there? And then over time, it's just like as you own them more, they just become things. It's like when you buy an iPhone, right? Like you unbox it. The thing costs you fucking $800. You peel off the plastic, and for about a week, you do everything you can to protect the thing. Either you put it in a case, or if you don't, you always set it down sort of softly. If you toss it, you make sure you toss it in like your bed where it's soft. And then, a couple months in, you start dropping it, and it's like whatever. It is what it is. The same thing sort of happens in the custom knife world. I found that don't get me wrong, like a giant scratch through the center of your knife sucks, but basic like pocket clip wear and stuff like that, not a big deal. Whoa! Look at this thing. I had asked Josh for this one specifically because I really wanted to see Michael's work with Damascus. He rarely does Damascus blades. I mean, I've certainly seen them available, but I would say it's probably the least common thing he does. So I definitely wanted to check this out. How is everything in terms of the main camera? Are you guys seeing everything okay? Now, this one has a particularly light detent. Not super fond of that. And a bit of lock stick, but his knives tend to have lock stick, honestly. It's a little gritty getting over the first sec. I don't think this has a polished detent track because I can see the detent hole and I don't see any polishing anywhere near that. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a fully unpolished detent track, which is actually kind of irritating. It's a little gritty getting over... Whoop. Um, not into this. Wish he had done more to that track. Trying to keep these all matched up with their little keychains so I don't get confused. Out of focus on what's in your hand. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I don't know why this camera's giving me so much shit. So this, guys, is another one-off that... wait. What is this? Josh, is this a Tonto Tiger or a one-off that became the Goblin? I really like the blade. His satin is hard to come by and absolutely gorgeous. It's the only hand-rubbed vertical satin that I like. Normally I'm a stickler for horizontal satin finishes, but he just does such a good job. I'll bring it down since it's not focusing very well. Oh, you got oil on it? I don't know. A lot of people like to say, oh, it'll wear in, but I mean, that detent ball is not doing very much to that finish. I can tell you that much. I mean, it will break in, but not the way a polished detent track would. There's ceramic detents. I gotta say, this Timascus is just bonkers. I'm a total sucker for Tonto, so this thing is sick. Okay, what's next? I'm saving the green one for last because that's the one I'm most excited to see. Oh, man. Yeah, this one with the... Of course, it's fucking bronze. These are gorgeous thumb studs, by the way. I've never seen those before. But this black Timascus. Yowza. This is one of my favorites so far. Love the acid wash. The show scale is just unbelievably gorgeous. Of course, I hate the bronze. But that's my problem, not the knife's problem. Oh, and those thumb studs work great. Nice. I love these studs. They're awesome. Check these out. See how there's like a little... Sorry, I'll try to... See how there's like a little step in there? Fuck. I don't have like a good way to... There you go. Those are cool, man. This is probably the best one mechanically. Yeah, flat detents are cool, but they have to be done flawlessly. They're sort of like the all or nothing option for a detent. This thing, oh my god, I can't. I have to own this. Like, I mean, this camera makes it look like shit. By the way, I'm never using this camera again to do this because this has been awful. Out of focus and just like terrible color. Like this thing is like bright lime, like electric green. And on here, it looks almost blue. Like, pfft. Ooh. Super light detent. Oh my god, look how... It's a flat detent. Interesting. Well, you guys said you wanted your flat face detent. There it is. But he did it a little too shallow. And on a pretty thick blade stock, so I'm not getting the leverage that I need for deployment. That's kind of a bummer. Now, see, my thing about Gavcos is I like to buy them with holes in them, because then I can finger flick. And if I could finger flick this, then the detent would be perfect. But I can't. Now, Josh explained, they're more push button, but like, that's not an excuse. Yeah, push button's not an excuse, dude. That's not, I don't buy that shit. No. When you spend this much money on a knife, okay, I should not be able to pull it out of the box and fuck up flipping it. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. Don't tell me, oh, push button it. Like, no, it's a flipper. I should be able to fucking tug on the flipper tab and get deployment. When you're spending this much on a knife, it should be borderline flawless. But whatever. I wish it had a hole. It doesn't have a hole. Definitely my favorite show scale of all of them. It's unfucking believable, the colors that are in here. I'll be able to do a much better job in the reviews and the videos of these knives, of giving you guys sort of like a nice detailed look of the colors and the finishes and everything. Yeah, it's just geometry, sure, but like, that's not an excuse. And there's just a lot of, it's interesting that, what do you disagree with, Steve? It's interesting that, there's so much like variance. And this is true of all makers. I think this is a good example because I have all these Gavcos on the table, and you guys have seen how they all function differently. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, every maker has inconsistencies with their actions and stuff. Go to a show and walk up to a table and start picking stuff up, and you'll be guaranteed to notice a difference in every single one. But you can definitely see that here with the Gavcos. So that is almost, 20 grand in knives? Thank you so much, Josh, for sending these along. This is epic and amazing. I have a ton of work to do. I'm going to get so many pictures, and I can't wait to make videos. These knives are absolutely sick. I'm dumbfounded that you did this for me. Honestly, I'm so thankful. This thing is sick, by the way, this Crusader. Thank you so much. I'm going to get these put away because Josh doesn't like scratches on his knives. So, God forbid I let one sit around and scratch it by accident. Let me put all of these away, actually. This thing is sick. So, let's see. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to see before we wrap this one up? This thing is sick. I'm like really impressed with it. I wish Ian was on the stream, actually. It's funny that you asked that, Steve, because these actually are headed to somebody else. Oh, I'm like yawning. It's not even that late. The CF Tonto you recently got. You mean my mini Bushido? This thing? Yeah, USPS will not pay out a claim. They won't. I mean, maybe you could hire a lawyer. Yeah, taking them to Frunky Town. That's correct. He couldn't be here tonight, because he had social plans, which were apparently more important than this. Tactical, what would you like to know about the Bushido? I recently published my review on it. It's a killer little knife. I love it. This thing is sick. It's very unique. It definitely fills a niche in my collection, and it's got a lot of sort of characteristics that I might not normally want on a knife. But this one sort of just struck a chord, and I love it. I can't wait to take pictures of it. I think this one's gonna look real good when she's sort of in the limelight. But it's certainly not flawless. Use tape, pack it well, and sig required. Except apparently signature required doesn't mean shit, since these were on my porch. This thing is really interesting. It's amazing how much I dislike the deployment, but like the way that it closes. Yeah, you're right, Tactical. It wouldn't be what it is. Yeah. I really like closing this thing. This is fun to fidget with, I got to admit. Try to back finger flick the tiger with the thumb studs. Now I gotta figure out which one that was. Yeah, that worked. Not as comfortable as doing a finger hole, because they're up a little bit higher, and these ones in particular are a bit small. These are smaller than his other studs that I've seen. See, I can't even do it anymore. Where's I feel like there's another one. There you go. So here, let me pack this one away, since I did it with that one. This one's got bigger thumb studs, so it's a little bit easier to at least like feel where the stud is. But yeah, this is not like something that I'm... By the way, this one has a really great action. Watch it drop. But I definitely like prefer a hole. It's certainly not the same, but you can do it. It's not comfortable, because it's like, look at what it's doing to my finger. My fingernail. Like, come on, stop focusing. It's like chewing it up is what I'm trying to fucking show you. But it works. Anything made by the Hawks is interesting. Yeah, the Hawk Lock I've played with. How was the interaction with Holt and the Lock Rock? Yeah, man, it was great. Yeah, it was sweet. I love those guys, Joe and Angie. They took the knife back. They filled some cosmetic requests that I had in regards to like the anodizing and stuff. They kept me up to date with multiple videos. They took multiple videos in the shop while they were working on it to show me the progress, and you know, Joe took the knife and sort of tapped it and everything and showed me that it didn't have any rock, and showed me the action and showed me the lockup, and I had emails every other day updating me on the status. I mean, and of course they did it all for free. They said, when I initially hit them up for the issue, the response email that I got, the first response already had a prepaid label attached to it. So there was no hesitation from them. I personally will say that Holt Blade Works has the single best customer service in the knife industry, bar none. Show me somebody who's better. I'm all ears. But it was fantastic. I think I explained to somebody the other day, they had messaged me privately on Reddit, and they simply said, you know, like, hey, or actually maybe it was a comment on Reddit, but they were like, hey, you know, I'm interested in the knife, but like I saw your unboxing, I saw the Lockrock, like I'm really concerned about that. And then I started talking to them about my experience, and I basically said, look, I would rather get a Spectre in the mail with Lockrock and send it back and get it fixed working with the Holtz than buy a knife that's perfectly fine and perfectly good out of the box, but was miserable to work with the maker. I've had miserable experiences working with makers, and I would rather have the sort of good experience with the person but bad experience with the knife and get it fixed than have a bad experience with the person and a good experience with the knife. So the way I see it, like all in all, the experience of getting the knife, having Lockrock, sending it back, and getting it back was a better experience than some knives where I bought and they've showed up and they've just been great. Yeah, don't worry about video or anything. A full review will come out, and I will address all of that in the review. I've addressed it multiple times on Reddit, multiple times on Instagram. So I've definitely gone as many miles as I can in regards to letting people know that everything's fine. But I will continue to do that. I will absolutely defend them. They have been nothing but perfect to me and just the nicest people. And, you know, I've worked with people who are nice, but maybe like not good at business. The thing that I like about the Holtz is it's both. It's a personal touch where Joe and Angie will both speak to you directly using your name in a video, showing you the sort of updates and everything. But the business end of it is handled as well, insofar as the emails that you get are well constructed. You know, they're grammatically correct. I know it's such like a small thing to think about, but like, you can tell that there's effort behind it, right? It's not just some person sort of just spitballing with you, right? Like, they are running a business. They hit you up. They make sure that all of your concerns are covered. They make sure everything is addressed before they send the knife back to you. Like I said, that first email had a return label in it already. So there was I've had like no concerns with them. On a personal level and on a business level, they are both flawless. And I think getting both of those together, especially in this industry, is fairly rare. They're not the only ones, but fairly rare. These Gavcos are sick, man. Okay, let me sort of scroll back up here and see what I missed while I was blabbing on about the Holtz. USPS sucks. Yep, they've lost my shit too, man. Nice, man. Took me a hella long to get it on mine. Thought you said the detent was super light on it. The thumb studs are the same size as yours. Got it. You have a Gavco. I'm starting to understand, Max, where you're coming from. Right? Dude, ew, gross. Brutal with your nail, right? Like, yeah, I would love to get a hole. I actually had that Gavco spinner collab up until today. I shipped that out this morning because I sold it. All right, cool. I'm pretty much going to end it there, guys. If anybody else has any final questions or whatever, I'll hang out for another minute or so and check out the chat. Obviously, if you guys enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Check me out on Instagram at TavarshWorks to see beautiful pictures of all these sick knives that are about to show up. We're covered in black Damascus and this and that and the other. So I'm really excited to get a bunch of pictures up on Instagram as well. You can always email me at tavarshworks@gmail.com. Oh, the rock pattern Damascus. Yeah, dude, that thing was sick. Sick. Good knife. Good pickup. For sure. I think Mike is going to be working on some Makos soon. Maybe in Stellite. I will consider those. I'm pretty broke right now. I just paid off, like, that gold, my Larevo, the Holt, the Bushido, and then I bought, I'll spoil it, I bought something pretty interesting that's not a knife, SN Metalworks, if you guys have heard of that. That's all I'll say on Instagram. But I did pick up something cool as well. So yeah, really stoked to get this all out there. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. This was fun. Thank you so much to Josh for sending all this stuff out. I can't believe you had the balls to do that. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I don't see any more conversation happening. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Yes, I'm sure I want to stop the stream. Thanks, YouTube.